you want. want? you want? Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Isaiah Lafone Live. It is the Christmas season, and so this is the season of giving. And so you get 3 live streams a week now for the Christmas season until I head back to school, and then we'll go back to 1. Again, it's going to be a little laggy at first. We don't have a monitor yet, and the GPU is going to be a little slow because we have a couple things running in the background. But once we cut those tabs out, once we're done with the main story today, it should be running good and well. The internet is no longer the problem, and that is a great thing. And so, but once we get the monitor, that should cut down on the issues here in the computer trying to overload and produce these images for y'all. So, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode. We've got some new decorations. We've got the beautiful 1800s looking candles here. I love these. They're beautiful. Mostly because they look like they're from like the 1800s or something. I love things that look old, and I love old things. And of course, we've got the angel and everything back there, but we've got lights on the boom arm. It's great. It's wonderful. So, anyway, Gabe, you'll send me some stuff to help with the GPU. Thank you. I don't know what it is. It just cuts down the memory and the RAM. Gets cut down on when I do these live streams, or overloads a little bit, and so it's a little laggy. It seems to be a little bit more laggy tonight than it was the other night, and I can see why it's being overloaded a little bit. So I will try to work on the lag, keeping it down. It did good the other night. It's doing not the best right now. So anyway, you missed the hat. Well, we might bring the hat back. We'll see. We'll see if we bring the Santa hat back for question and answer time. If we bring it back, I'll have to go upstairs out of the studio to get the hat. But yeah, so we're gonna have a great time tonight. It's gonna be a good show for you all. Yeah, the audio is still uninterrupted. I'm sorry about the lag. I'm genuinely trying to fix it. I'm to the point where I'm thankful that it's not the internet anymore. The internet's fine. It's to the point where I'm starting to run out of options to fix it. Yes, I saw your questions, Gabe. I'll be answering them. But yeah, I'm running out of ways to fix the lagging issue. I'm trying. I'm working very hard to cut down on all lag on these live streams. So I don't know that I'll be able to do much more. Like I said, I'm really, really trying for you all, because it frustrates me just as much that y'all aren't getting a clean show. So, which I'm trying to bring to y'all quality content. Okay, so, well, Gabe, if you can help me fix it, that would be great, because I want to make quality content for you all, and I don't want y'all looking at a lagging image of me. So, today, as the title suggests, the issue. Cool. Good. I'm not good with computers at all. I just talk in front of them. So, today, as the title suggests, we're talking about what's next for the right. And we're going to wrap up the Jaquan Stembridge saga. First of all, we've got some new text messages and some more detail on that story, and I promised you that if we had more detail on that story come out, that I would cover it on the live stream. This information came out thanks to Street Sweepers TV, the people who busted him in the first place. Great, wonderful gentlemen. They're doing great work over there in Georgia. And so we've got new information coming out about the situation uncovered by these guys who are doing great work in Georgia. So shout out to them. Go subscribe to their channel. Go follow them on X and on Instagram and all platforms. So we're going to start out with that, and then we're going to touch on a guy named Garcia Gates. He made a video which was like an appeal to the groypers. Now, I'm not a groyper myself. I'm not. But he says some things in his video which are very tone deaf, quite disgusting, and shows his ignorance on the issues that Gen Z is facing. One of those statements he makes is that Gen Z's greatest problem is the phone battery. And I saw that, and I watched through it. We're going to watch through it in a minute. I watched through it, and I was like, I cannot think of anything more tone deaf than what this man is saying. And so we're going to, and ignorant, by the way, and ignorant too. So we're going to go through all of that. But first things first, we need to touch on the Jaquan Stembridge issue. We're going to get that issue out of the way. And then we're going to begin talking about the main issue for tonight, which is the future of the right, which direction that the youth on the right will take this movement. So let's go ahead and get this here pulled up. Okay. Excellent. Is this going to work for me? It is. Aha. See. Okay. So we're going to pull this up right quick. You can see it. Again, brought to you by Street Sweepers, doing great work in Georgia. So this is that we're not, of course, revealing the guy's name, but he says he, as in Jaquan Stembridge, tried to reach out to me in 2024 when I was a sophomore, 15, and he was a senior, 18, multiple times on burner phone numbers. Ended up not telling anyone because I had respect for him, and we were both in high school Republicans, so I deleted the convos, left it alone. I have screenshots of his burner phone number with it being nearly identical to his actual phone number. So this guy comes out now after all this has come out. It's kind of understandable. Kind of, he didn't want to rag on the dude. Okay, you still should have said something. Like, objectively, you should have said something. But now that this has all come out, this fella says, okay, time to break my silence. Okay, here we go. Here's some of the screenshots here. So this is Jaquan Stembridge, obviously. That's the number, apparently the old number, and we don't need to look at that. Let's look at the screenshots here. This is the main item of interest. By the way, we have 12 people watching right now. That is fantastic. Thank you all. W's in the chat for all the people watching. Thank you guys so much. We have 35 views right now. This is actually, that's the fastest we've gotten to 35 views in my entire time of doing this for a living. I've never gotten to 36 views now. Thank you all. Thank you guys. Oh my gosh, this is great. So glad you guys are watching. So here's the screenshots. Jaquan is the one, I believe, in the gray colored text messages here. Yes, from where? So he says, do I know you? He says, yes. From where? All around, to be honest. How can I help? And he says, chat, what is this, bro? What kind of cringy nonsense? This is disgusting. Showing me ugh. That's nasty, bro. Out secret. I think he meant to say our secret. What the? Dude, what? What is this, bro? Who even are you? What does it matter? I don't even know you. Secretive things together. So he says something about doing secretive things together. I'm not interested in what you're selling. Why not? I'm not into that stuff. Okay, let me see that. Okay, so he tells him, he says, look, bro, I'm not gay. Like, I'm not into, he was 15 at the time. He says, bro, objectively, I'm not into that stuff. It's like, I'm not, I don't swing that direction. I'm not into that, right? I don't want to be part of any of this stuff. And this bro says okay on, it says here, he says okay on February 22nd, 2024. He would have been 18 at the time. Yeah, okay. So on February 22nd, 2024, he says, okay, whatever. And then he says, is this chat, are we serious? Guys, what is this? That's, bro, let me see. So he says, like, let me see the package. He says no. He says okay. And then literally like 6 days later, he's here hitting him up, asking for it again because he's down bad and a pedophile. What is this, bro? Dude. I can't believe I even had this guy on my show. What the heck, dude? This is disgusting. No, brother. Let me see some type of peek. He said, sure. Okay, so he says, sure. And he says, you sending it? This is the funniest part of this. So he says, let me see some type of peek. So, okay. He says, let me see it. We all know what he's referring to. I don't need to elaborate or this stream will get taken down. You know what I mean. He says, let me see it. And he says, nah, bro. He just told you. He said, I'm not into that stuff. And then he asks again. Bro is relentless. I want to know, like, obviously I don't have access to, I mean, there's obviously going to be an investigation that's going on. Of course, I don't have access to other, like, messages. I wonder if he's definitely done this before. And pushing people, apparently he's got his way a couple times. Because he keeps pushing him, even when he's told him no. It's a very bad sign, by the way. Can't take no for an answer. That's... So he tells him no, and then he asks again, and bro says sure, and he says, you sending it? And this, bro, this is the most based response he could have given him at this point. He underlines and highlights, I think this is 1 Corinthians. Or do you not know that wrongdoers will not inherit the kingdom of God? Do not be deceived, neither the sexually immoral, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor men who have sex with men, there you go, nor thieves, nor the greedy, nor drunkards, nor slanderers, nor swindlers will inherit the kingdom of God. That is the most based response he could have given at that point. To a dude that he's told no several times at this point. And he just keeps pressing and keeps pressing and keeps pressing and keeps pressing. And he says, fine, here you go. 1 Corinthians 9 through 10. You will not inherit the kingdom of heaven. He said, how's this for type of peak? That is peak, bro. That is very peak. Responding. 1 Corinthians 6. Yeah, 1 Corinthians 6. I thought, yeah. 1 Corinthians 6, 9 through 10. I know it was 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians 6, 9 through 10. Yeah, you're right. That's what a based response from this guy. And I feel terrible for him. This 18-year-old dude pushing this 15-year-old to show off pictures. And he's clearly intimidated, probably by this guy. And he responds with a Bible verse. God bless this man, whoever he is. God bless him, God bless him, God bless him. And, and heal him from his trauma. You're right, Christ, through content. Okay. He says, oh, that's not. I'm sure. Okay. So that's just, there's that. So those are the last, at least the last of the story that I've seen if I hear any news, if more of this comes out, which it will, by the way, I know a friend of mine is going to bring some more of this out. We might cover it. We probably will. We're not going to, because there's a danger in this. You want to cover this and you want to bring this out into the open, but you also don't want to be hyper focused on it. This man, Jaquan Stembridge, should be locked away in prison. He should never see the light of day. They should lock him in and throw away the key, and he should be forgotten through the annals of history. He should be forgotten. Because in history, long-term history is what I mean. Long-term history. We remember great men. We remember heroic men. We remember outstanding men. We remember moral men. Men of conviction, men of character. This man is none of those things. This man is a pedophile, a sodomite, a devil. He's wiped his Instagram account. He's running and he's hiding. I hear he's getting a lawyer. I was going to say lawyering up, but he's getting a lawyer. For what? For what, bro? Why are you getting a lawyer? And who would defend you? What lawyer is corrupt and stupid enough to defend you? What do you need a lawyer for? You got caught doing it. Might as well just plead guilty and go to prison. Cat's out of the bag now, bud. The dude that we just saw the text messages from should have turned these over a long time ago. He should have been caught a long time ago. Our justice system is screwed if we let people like this get lawyers. Yes. Why do you need a lawyer for? You've been caught. You're going to prison for a very long time. I think you should actually get more of a punishment for pedophilia in the state of Georgia. I think you should be castrated. That should be your punishment for pedophilia. You freak. You disgusting, despicable animal. No. He deserves far worse than to just go to prison. But if that's all he gets, whatever. Lock him away. Make sure no one's children ever gets near him ever again. He's a freak. And he is the perfect example of why the current political class on both sides needs a complete overhaul. Because there are hundreds more members of the political establishment on the left and the right that are hiding things probably just like this. We know several of them have been involved with Epstein, with Diddy. These crimes are despicable and repugnant. We have lost the virtue in the West and in Christian moral society of righteous, holy indignation, holy hatred for these abhorrent acts. He's a despicable animal. Anyone who does this is a despicable animal, guilty of corrupting God's most innocent children, destroying their childhood, their innocence, leaving leaving traumatic scars upon them, upon their mind, upon their emotional state, upon their body, forever, that they'll probably never get over. And I see people out here there have been people out here who have said, "Oh, why would y'all do this to him? You've ruined his life." Good. Exactly what he deserves. What were we supposed to do? Just keep covering it up? See, it's the CIA. Dude, that's a CIA or FBI bot. It has to be. Why would y'all do this? I mean, you ruined his life. Bot, fed. We got to start responding to people like that. I'm instructing all of you to respond to people like that by just saying fed. Period. But he is the prime example of why the current political establishment as we know it needs to be overhauled completely. Both the left and the right, the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, are both two of the most corrupt institutions on the face of the planet. And they need reform. America needs reform. Neither side is moral. Neither side is good. Both sides have a lust for power. Both sides use us as their little pawns in their grand political game. You think Republicans care about you? No, they don't. Donald Trump ran on mass deportations, limiting immigration, ending H-1Bs. And what's he do? And making things in America, hiring Americans. And what does he do when he gets to the White House? About a month ago, he says, look, here's the deal. We need more H-1B visas in the United States. But, sir, we have qualified Americans. No, you don't. No, you don't. There are no qualified Americans. There are no talents in America. It's true. I've checked. My donors have checked. Sam Altman checked, and he assured me that he needs the Indians. It's true. Look, Laura, Americans are not talented. Donald Trump said this literally a couple weeks ago, about a month ago or so. But that has been ignored now because on Thanksgiving Day, he came up with a statement, then he ranted in a cabinet meeting the other day about Somalians and about deporting the Somalians. I'll believe it when I see it. Trump promised us these things. He gets into office, and what does he say? What does he do? He does a 180. Does a 180 on it. And you see why I don't trust politicians. Why is it neither side cares about you? No one does. Not anymore. Not even your conservative pundits care about you. I think Ben Shapiro gives a crap about you. He did a video today I saw released, originally titled Gen Z Confronts Me on the Economy. And, oh man, the lag is so bad. I'm so sorry, y'all. The lag is so bad. I apologize. But he did a video entitled, like, what was it? It was something like, yeah, it was Gen Z Confronts Me on the Economy. Then he changed it to something else and slightly altered the thumbnail, which, by the way, as a small creator, that's something you do when your video, is not reaching like you want it to. You have to shake it up a bit. That shows that he's not getting the views he once did. He's lost so many subscribers. He's lost all his viewership. He's hemorrhaging viewers. The reason he's doing this is because he's not getting the viewership that he wants or used to. And so we'll be reacting to that video tomorrow night, because I cannot do Friday because I have an event to go to on Friday night, but we will be live streaming tomorrow night. And then the episode of the Isaiah Lafone show will come out on Saturday. By the way, I love doing these lives, and if I can get it to stop lagging, I'd love to do the Isaiah Lafone show just live. That's what I want to do anyway. I want to do a daily live show. If y'all get me to 300,000 subscribers, I will do this full time, and I will do the daily live show, the daily live Isaiah Lafone show. If we can fix the lag, I'd love to do the Isaiah Lafone show live, but it's laggy, so right now it's just the Isaiah Lafone live. But so we'll be reacting to Ben Shapiro's little thing tomorrow. Anyway, your conservative pundits don't care about you. Politicians don't care about you. And Jaquan Stembridge is a cog in the system. He's literally just another gear in the current political system and establishment. He is literally there because the establishment is scared of the young right and what Gen Z is going to do once we're in political positions of power in the United States. So they're setting these young people up as cogs in the system, in these different in-party system positions, in order to try to prevent that from happening. They're little disciples who will do what they say. Jaquan Stembridge's run for Assistant Secretary of Georgia Republican Party was embroiled in controversy. He repeated several lies during the campaign trail about his opponent, about what happened at the Georgia Republican Convention. Jaquan Stembridge wouldn't know the truth if it hit him in the face. He wouldn't know the Constitution from a phone book. He's as historically illiterate as they come. As constitutionally illiterate as they come. And most of your elites are today. Why? Because they don't care. They don't care about the Constitution. They care about rigging it. Like I said at Monday, Constitution is dead. Why? Again, we shot it. That's going to be a staple on the Isaiah Lafone show. Y'all are going to, that's going to be a catchphrase. I'm going to put that on a t-shirt. Y'all are going to know that. Y'all are going to know that from just me starting it out. Like when I start saying it. I'm going to be like, the Constitution is dead. Why? And then y'all are going to finish it and be like, we shot it. Exactly. Great. And I had him on my show. I did. Because he wasn't Assistant Secretary of the Georgia Republican Party yet. I didn't know all that much about him. Should I have done more vetting? Yes. That was last October. A lot of the recent developments have happened lately, over the summer. But if I knew what I knew now, never would have had that moron on my show. But yeah, the elites don't care about you. They don't care about the Constitution. They don't care about the United States government. Didn't Seamus from Freedom Tunes create that phrase first? Yes, he did in a decade-old video, and now I'm co-opting it And y'all can at him. I will give him credit for that phrase, but I love that phrase so much, and we're going to co-opt it now on the Isaiah Lafone show. But yeah, so they don't care about the Constitution. A lot of the Republicans are like, oh, we're constitutional conservatives. We love Constitution. This, that, whatever. No, they don't. They just want to rig it. They don't know. They hadn't read the Founders. Hadn't read the Founders. Hadn't read the Federalist Papers. They don't care. Most of them haven't even read the text of the Constitution of the United States. Have you read the text of the Constitution of the United States? Probably didn't. You probably hadn't. You've read bits and pieces that you were told in grade school. I just had a conversation with a guy today who tried to tell me the founders were a bunch of Freemasons, Unitarians, and deists. The product of the American education system. And you know why that person thought that? Because that's what he had been told. That's what he had been told by the American public school system. But it's simply not the case. Thomas Jefferson was a deist, yes. Benjamin Franklin, it's kind of up in the air. George Washington, Freemason. Oh no. It's debated how involved he was in the Freemasons, like at all. We don't have much record of him being involved in the Freemasons at all. What we do have record of is his Christian faith. These beautiful, beautifully written prayers by George Washington. Have you read them? Probably. I'm going to inspire all of you to go do more research than the elites right now. Who's George Clinton? Who's George Clinton? Who's Charles Carroll of Carrollton? That's a fire name, dude. Charles Carroll. Okay. How about James Wilson? How about Albert Jerry? How about Benjamin Rush? How about John Witherspoon? How about Benjamin Rush. I already said Benjamin Rush. How about John Jay? You should know John Jay. He wrote some of the Federalist Papers, which you've never read, by the way. John Hancock. That's true. People don't know a lot about John Hancock anymore. Governor of Massachusetts. Sorry, the Declaration. Remember, he's got the big John Hancock, the big signature. He was governor of Massachusetts, and he issued several prayer orders, calling the citizens of Massachusetts to a national day of prayer, or to a statewide day of prayer. You don't know who these people are. Patrick Henry, that's a good one. Give me liberty or give me death. You don't know who these people are because you've never been taught. Our politicians don't know who these people are because they don't give a flying flip. You couldn't pay them to care. If it's not insider trading or making bank from the Israel lobby or whatever lobbyists are vying for their attention, they don't care. Can you name every president of the United States? I can. George Washington, John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, James Monroe, John Quincy Adams, Andrew Jackson, Martin Van Buren, William Henry Harrison, John Tyler, James K. Polk, Zachary Taylor, Millard Fillmore, Franklin Pierce, James Buchanan, Abraham Lincoln, Andrew Johnson, Ulysses S. Grant, Rutherford B. Hayes, James A. Garfield, Chester A. Arthur, Grover Cleveland, Benjamin Harrison, Grover Cleveland again, William McKinley, my personal hero, or one of them, Theodore Roosevelt, William Howard Taft, Woodrow Wilson, Warren G. Harding, Calvin Coolidge, one of the most underrated presidents, Herbert Hoover, Franklin D. Roosevelt, Harry Truman, Dwight D. Eisenhower, John F. Kennedy, the last great Democrat, Lyndon B. Johnson, Richard Nixon, Gerald Ford, Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, George H.W. Bush, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, Barack Obama, Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Donald Trump again. I just named you all 47 presidents. Or, well, 45 presidents. Two are repeated, Grover Cleveland and Donald Trump. You didn't know half the names, did you? Probably for half the time you thought, oh, he's just making those names up. You've been made ignorant. I remember when I first started being able to list off all these presidents, and I can tell you facts about each one of them. People think it's something impressive. It's not. Everyone used to just know all the presidents. Most of you didn't know what I was talking about. That's a problem. The elites in our society and the liberal consensus and status quo has made you ignorant, made you stupid, given you lackluster knowledge about history so that you don't question them. Libertarians don't give a crap about the Constitution. They think America's just free markets and making money and guns and smoking pot and stuff. Liberals think that America is just, Constitution is just an excuse to something that I can reinterpret in order to give me more power. Mark Levin, he's an idiot. He didn't know he doesn't know what the meaning of the Constitution is. If he did, he would know that Trump cannot unilaterally tariff anyone because tariffs are a tax. Therefore, that power belongs to Congress. And when you say that, oh, you hate Trump, you're not MAGA. I don't hate Trump. I just love the country more. I love the Constitution more. I don't care who it is. If you're violating constitutional law, I call you out. Donald Trump cannot unilaterally tariff because tariffs are a tax and the power to tax belongs to the Congress of the United States. No executive is above the Constitution. But a strong executive is good. I'm not saying that's bad. What's bad is overstepping constitutional bounds. Doesn't matter who it is. I'll call it out no matter who it is. Joe Biden trampled on the Constitution. Barack Obama, George W. Bush, half of these presidents trampled. Trump doesn't really care about the Constitution. Nobody cares about the rule of law. They do really only care about prosecuting their political opponents. Everybody does. And the reason that they are trying so hard is because they are desperately afraid of what Gen Z will become once we take political power. Because that will be the end of the society they built. So, let's react here. After I've just inspired you to do some research and told you why look, everybody's got to go in the political establishment as it stands now. Everybody's got to go. All of them. All of them are fraudsters. Half of them are criminals. Actually, no. 99.9999% of them are criminals in some way. Half of them are rapists. This is why I don't want to touch the political establishment with a 10-foot pole. Why I'm trying to be independent and do this independently. Why I appreciate those of you who watch. Because I will not, and I will never be bought out, be subject to a system which is inherently corrupt. This is a dark modern-day political system. Change will not happen until the entire political establishment, as it stands right now, is thrown out to the garbage. Everyone must go. And what Republicans need to do, as Republicans, I'm a registered Republican, because why? Not because of what it is today, because I believe in the ideals of Roosevelt and Lincoln and Coolidge. Not because of stupid bullcrap that's happening today. Has been happening since the 1960s. Has really ramped up recently. As Republicans, what we need to start doing is just threatening to withhold our vote. You give us a non-corrupt, don't give us a corrupt politician. You give us a clean-cut, truly conservative politician. You please us. You do as we ask you. You do what we ask you to do. Or we don't vote for you at all. There. And then have at it. Because Democrats do that. They do exactly what the Democrats want. Republicans see us as useful idiots. They'll vote them into power, and then ultimately they won't do anything. They'll just be making kickbacks. Make a bunch of money. And they know that every single damn time we will line up on election day and vote the straight Republican ticket. Take my own situation in North Carolina, for example. Mike Whatley, former chair of the RNC, is running for our open Senate seat. And if he is the Republican nominee, which he most likely will be at this point in time, going into the race against Roy Cooper in 2026, this rhino, Mike Whatley, I will withhold my vote. I will either skip it or I will vote for Roy Cooper. How about that? How about them apples? How about I vote for Roy Cooper? We've got to stop just accepting candidates from the Republican Party who are do-nothing candidates. If Mike Whatley, got something in my throat, caused my voice to crack there for a minute. But if Mike Whatley is the Republican candidate on the Senate ballot in North Carolina, November of 2026, I'm withholding my vote. I'm not voting for him. We must start threatening them with keeping them out of power. with knocking them out of power, with refusing to vote, therefore not giving them a job, unless they do as we ask them, unless they do what we want. The reason that Trump finally moved on immigration policy, finally, is because we threatened withholding our vote in 2026, and he can't afford it. So let's react to this video. We've got 7 people watching right now. We've kept it 10 to 12 people. We jumped to 13 at one point, so we've gone down a little bit, but I thank you all for watching. I hope I'm not boring you all. 79 views. All right. Let's react to this feller here. Who he's doing this thing called like his speech to groypers or whatever. I'm not a groyper again, but like he says some things that really takes me off. So let's watch this and we'll be reacting to it. Hold on a minute. Let me make sure y'all will be able to hear that. Desktop audio all the way up. Cool. Alrighty. Let's get going.
Dear Nick Fuentes followers, I'm going to directly address him in a minute, but first, I want to provide you with some perspective. There's a line you've heard. Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. You've posted it. You've liked it. I've seen some of you quote it. But there's a difference between knowing that line and living the truth behind it. Because right now, you're part of the generation born in the good times, blessed with comfort, convenience, and endless possibility.
And see, this is where he starts to piss me off. Boys, we made it, what is that, 33 seconds in, and he's already pissing me off. You guys were born in the good times. So you got all this opportunity and stuff because technology, whatever. This is not good times. See, this is the problem with standard establishmentarian, as the establishment is now, the current day state of the elites in the Republican Party, or who we consider the elites, the ruling class. Would I be willing to give Mike Whatley a chance to prove himself? No, because he's got a record of being a rhino, and he's just going to lie to me. I don't care to listen to him anymore. He's gonna just lie to me like they all do. Why would I give him a chance? Why would I give him a chance? Why? His record speaks for himself. He can say whatever he wants to me. I'm calling bullcrap on all of it. It's not going to be true. None of it will be true. I look at someone's record, not what they're saying now. Because a person's record is a better indicator of what they're going to do in office than what they are saying now. So, already this guy is pissing me off because he's saying, oh, well, y'all have it great. Y'all in the good times. Sure seems like that, probably to you. And this is the attitude, the condescending, repulsive, repugnant attitude coming from who we would consider to be the ruling class in America right now. You've got all this technology and whatever. Well, the economy's terrible, but you got this technology and you're all connected. Yes, the technology in many ways has been the death of us. People live their lives on social media rather than in real life, and that's technology's fault. Because they've made it easier to just have a social life online and no social life in the real world. Technology has been the death of us. Rarely anything is done about cyberbullying. I got people threatening to kill me almost every other day. You really think I have it great? But technological advancement is second to the moral condition of the country. And what do we see going on in the morality of the culture of the country? What do we see going on in this society? There is no moral standard at all. There's no morality anymore in our society. God is just good as dead to our society. The moral state of a culture is far more important than the technological advancement. You guys have it so good because you got all this technology. Yes, but at the expense of God, at the expense of a moral, righteous society. We've traded comfort and knowledge, quote unquote, and advancement and quote unquote intelligence for truth. For the moral framework of society. We've traded it all away. The morality is the foundation in which every great civilization is built upon. And what happens when you take away the foundation from a house? It all falls apart. Morality is the foundation of society, foundation of culture, foundation of a nation. You can have the greatest technological advancements that have ever been seen in the history of mankind. But if you're not a moral people, if you are a decadent people engaging in all sorts of debauchery, all sorts of immorality, homosexuality, bestiality, pedophilia, if you're going around cheating, you got a cheating culture. We live in a culture of sex and death. It does not matter what technology we discover. It does not matter how rich we are. It does not matter. None of it matters. If we are a wicked and depraved people, because our citizens are and will chase anything for satisfaction, whether that's sex, drugs, money, fame. They will chase anything because they don't have the foundation. They don't have the love of God in their hearts. You've replaced God with the state. And once the state becomes God, the people expect everything from the state. How do you explain the modern welfare state? The state is now God. The entire moral framework of this country has been eroded. So this man says, oh, y'all have it so good. No, we don't. In terms of technology, sure. But who cares? Who cares? Who cares, dude? I could go to the stake to be burned as a martyr. But if I have not love, it's worth nothing. If I have not love, it's worth not love way. If a society can progress technologically, economically, can advance, but if they don't have the love of God, it is worth nothing. What's more important? Morality. People assume utilitarian morality nowadays, where everything is permissible. Anything is permissible. That's the society we grew up under. That's the society we live under. So he says, you have it so great. You have most comfortable generation. Your most comfortable time in history. Maybe from a progressive standpoint, from an actual societal health, moral health standpoint, we have it terribly. Why? Because people like you in your generation allowed it to get that way. Who's to blame? The boomers, Gen X, millennials, everyone that came before us. Which is why now we have to fix it. Which is why I don't take cues from people like this. You're part of the problem, son. Let's keep going. Let's see what more he has to say to us about how our lives are so amazing.
And in that comfort, many of you have grown soft. Not because
I can't think of a dumber thing to say. In that comfort, many of you have grown soft. Excuse me? Who's the one that can't stomach? This guy looks like a guy who would be like, when someone says, when we talk about banning abortion or things of this nature, he'd be like, well, you can't legislate morality. That's soft. Because you know damn well that someone's morality is going to be legislated. I know it took less than 2 seconds for me to get ticked off again. You know dang well that someone's morality is going to be legislated. Now, it's going to be Christian morality or it's going to be the secular utilitarian morality. Guess which one he wants? Secular utilitarianism. Because he's a libertarian. He believes everything is permissible. The laws themselves reflect morality, or at least morality according to that culture, quote unquote. Someone's morality is going to be legislated. If morality can't be legislated, then there would be no law against murder. Saying you can't legislate morality is one of the dumbest things you can say because you do it because governments do it all the time. Look, you can't commit a murder. Can't kill someone. Can't steal from a store. That's morality. Someone's morality is going to be legislated. We've just resolved that it's going to be ours because that's the only way a society has ever functioned in human history properly. But we're soft. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We're soft. Oh, my gosh. The ideal libertarian worldview for a nation is basically a motel with a GDP. Don't be libertarian, guys. Stay off of libertarianism. I had the phase in 2021, just like everyone else. But we got off of it. It's okay. Here we go.
because you're bad, not because you're doomed.
Okay, the condescension here is going crazy. I'm sorry, that was like literally 1 second, but the condescension is crazy.
But because comfort is a thief. So this message is a warning, a challenge, a chance to flip the script.
Bro, what?
But before we go further, you need to hear something.
Tell me.
Life has always been hard for every generation.
Really? Because it doesn't seem that hard for you. Didn't seem that hard for the boomers. Seemed pretty nice. Seemed pretty nice for you. You got a fancy studio. I sunk all of my money into all this. You probably got it through donations. Of course, y'all can donate to me on Patreon. I mean, there's nothing wrong with donations. But this man seems to be doing pretty well for himself. Seems pretty easy for you. Oh, I was deplatformed. I was banned from YouTube or Twitter or whatever. Dude, shut up. I'm sorry. You were able to own a home when you were younger. You were able to buy a home. So were the boomers. So were Gen X. I'm not going to be able to buy a home. This is textbook elitist baloney. This is textbook condescension. Well, it's always going to be hard. Shut up, dude. I should be able to own a home. My salary should go somewhere. The country shouldn't be trillions of dollars in debt. And guess who's going to pay that off? That's right, us. We get to pay for our forefathers living lavishly. off of our backs and the sweat of our brow. Do not lecture me when you have taken advantage of the fact that you can live lavishly while my generation pays the debt years down the road, because you do not care about anyone but yourself. Most people in the older generation are just narcissists. They only care about themselves.
For every man across all of human history, hard isn't the exception, it's the rule.
Is it the rule that we shouldn't, that our country, we're inheriting a country that's trillions of dollars in debt? Is it a rule that we inherit a country where we're never going to be able to own a home? Is it a rule to inherit an economy that is enslaved by big businesses and big banks that take advantage of the American citizen? Is that the rule? These older generations, man, you guys have so much easy. It's all projection. They had it easy. It's going to suck for us if things don't change.
And that's not a tragedy. That's the beauty of it.
Oh, the beauty of it is that life sucks. Are you BSing me? This has got to be, oh my gosh, dude. This has got to be.
Because the hardness of life
This can't be real.
is what makes life meaningful.
Is slaving away until I'm like 90, like Ben Shapiro would have me do? Frankly, I think the idea of retirement is a stupid idea. That's what Ben Shapiro said. Is that great? This is wonderful.
What's earned is treasured. What's suffered for is respected. What's built through sweat becomes sacred.
Except we literally can't do any of that. That's great, except you're so tone deaf and unaware of what's actually happening that you don't realize that none of us can do that. You're so stuck in your ivory tower and your echo chamber that you don't know what's actually happening here on the ground. That's why I started this channel. That's why I'm doing this. I'm trying to be a voice for the frustrated and angry people in my generation who realize that we've been screwed over by the generations who have come before us, taken advantage of by people far before they knew we would exist. Because no one's speaking for my people and for my generation. And every time somebody tries to, and they've done this to me, by the way, too. They do this to me all the time. Every time someone tries to speak to the frustration and what's going on with this generation, you know what they say? Hey, you're just wet behind the ear. You don't know what you're talking about. What do young people know? Quite a lot, actually. A lot more than you. And then they sit there and they say, why am I not being respected as an older person by the younger generation, like my parents, grandparents? Because your parents and your grandparents built something. Because your parents stormed the beaches of Normandy. Because your grandfather was in the trenches of France and Germany day after day after day during World War I. Because they did something mighty worthy to be respected. What have you done? Run this country into the ground, live off of welfare, and expect me to pay for it? No, you have no. The reason that we don't respect the boomers as a generation, they wonder why, is because what have they done for us except run the country to the ground? Not all of them. Their boomers are good people. My grandparents are lovely people, wonderful people, completely different than their generation. They're the most beautiful people. But by and large, why we don't respect them is because they've given us nothing to respect. Done nothing. You want respect for free. Just like everything else in your life, you want it for free. No. No, sir. No.
Comfort feels good. but it never fills you. Ease feels nice, but it never satisfies your soul.
Exactly. That's why do you think so many of us are turning to Christ? Why do you think religiosity is on the rise in Gen Z?
And here's the truth that no one is telling your generation.
He's about to say some of the most tone deaf, one of the most tone deaf things I've ever heard in my life, probably. Hold on.
Hard is your advantage. Hard is your opportunity. Hard is the doorway to everything you want. Purpose, confidence, fulfillment, pride, identity. You're living in an era where the sum total of human knowledge sits in your pocket.
Yeah, but like, who cares? Who cares? What is knowledge? What is knowledge worth? What is technology worth if my country is immoral? What is any of this worth without Christ? What is knowledge, technology? What is anything worth without a moral foundation? Like I've just said, and I'm going to keep repeating it. Not because I have nothing else to say, but because he keeps saying the same stupid things over and over. Hard is your pathway to opportunity. There is no opportunity. That's the whole point. That keeps flying over your head. It's clearly you've missed it. You've lost the plot. This is why Gen Z people hate the Democratic Party, they hate the Republican Party, they hate everyone in the political system. Because it's of idiots like that. Hard is your pathway to greatness and everything you want. You know, I wish it were. I wish the system was running properly, but it's not. I could work all my life and maybe I won't buy a home. I'll never be able to. Never make enough. I'll be a debt slave to big banks. Be a slave to the U.S. government relying on Social Security benefits. We just cracked 100 views, guys. Thank you so much. We have 8 people watching right now. Thank you so much. Make sure to like and subscribe. I really appreciate that. Everything is worthless without God. These people just don't understand it. Everything is worthless because you wrecked society. Because you and the generations that came before you wrecked society. You fools. Do not lecture me about how good everything is. You'll have ceded ground in the culture war. You ceded ground in the battles in the church to keep the churches conservative. Because you're cowards. And you don't and you're narcissists. You only care about yourselves.
You fear boredom more than starvation.
No, I fear the fact that my country is going to collapse by 2050 economically, societally. That's what I fear. And you sit up here, high and mighty, arbiter of truth and goodness, lecturing me. I don't fear boredom. I fear the end of a good, once righteous Protestant country. I fear the end of my country, my home. America is not just an economic zone to be bought and traded by multiple different. No, America is a place. America is a people. America is a culture. America is a society. John Jay, Second Federalist Paper. Providence has granted it to us that we are one people united by one culture, one language, one religion. You have thrown all of it away. We got Muslims and Hispanics and all these different cultures coming in, and there's no problem with, different races of people. The problem is these people coming into our country and then expecting us to assimilate to their culture, but refusing to assimilate to ours. You flooded the country with a bunch of immigrants who hate America. You've killed the culture. You've removed God from the public square, killed the one religion. And now you've killed the one language thing. Because I can't expect people to just speak English anymore. The language of the United States. Nick in the comment section, good point. Life is so easy for you. You don't have to fight for anything, said the old Roman senators to the youth 20 years before the Roman Empire collapsed. And guess what? The same thing is going to happen. The new Roman Empire, the new Rome, the United States, is going to collapse by 2050 if we don't do anything. Let's keep going.
You've been entertained to death. You've been told to fight.
No, I've been ridiculed to death by the educators who were supposed to train me up in the way that I should go.
Find yourself, not to build yourself. You were told feelings matter more than duty. You were told you deserve comfort without earning it. These are blessings. But blessings without struggle become curses quickly.
Exactly. Okay. So he says things like this, and then I think, oh, he's getting it, but he's not. He's going to take exactly the wrong lesson from that. Exactly. We've grown up in a terrible society. Now, that's why we're so angry. Can you talk about? No. No, it's our problem. You're the problem. The right is doing the same thing that the left did to us for years. You're the problem. You, young man, you are the problem. Your beliefs are the problem. Your religion is the problem. You. Don't look at us. Don't look at the people who've raked the system. Don't look at the businesses who are buying up single-family homes, driving people out of the area, racking up the prices, renting you to death. Don't look at the people who are hiking up grocery prices in the store. Don't look at the people who wreck the moral foundation of the United States of America. You're the problem. And the reason I get so fired up about this, ladies and gentlemen, I'm actually a very calm guy in real life, believe it or not. But the reason I'm so angry tonight about this is because of the arrogance, the ignorance, the arrogance, and the condescension. You see it so often from the older generation, don't you? They don't care about you. They don't care about us. Don't look at us. You're the problem. The young men have been kicked off. The young men were kicked out of the Democratic Party a long time ago. And the Republican Party goes down the same path. The two biggest political institutions in America will have removed young men from the ranks. And what happens when you remove young men from the city? They'll burn it to the ground. Everything will burn. And it will be your fault. And then maybe you'll finally see. This guy's the biggest example to half-truths are more dangerous than lies. Yes, exactly. He doesn't get it. He doesn't want to get it because he doesn't care. Let's keep going.
Because when you never endure the grind, you start believing you don't need it. When life...
Brother's going to act like we weren't told that we were worthless pieces of junk by our school teachers for a majority of our lives. Like we weren't treated like crap. You haven't endured the grind. Look at how culture and society treats us. Look how you're treating us right now. Absolutely insane.
Hands you everything, you start believing you deserve it. When you've never earned a victory, you don't value one. That's how good times create weak men. And that's why so many young men today feel empty, because meaning isn't found in comfort, it's found in earning.
Not true. He just lied. So the left presents earning as found in comfort, and I'm sorry, purpose and belonging, whatever. What did he say exactly? Let me use his exact words here. Let's go back here just a minute.
Found in comfort, it's found in earning, men.
Okay.
And that's why so many young men today feel empty, because meaning isn't found in comfort, it's found in earning.
Yes, exactly. He's wrong. He's wrong. So apparently the left is presenting meaning is found in comfort, and he's presenting, well, meaning is found in earning. Both of you are wrong. Both of you are wrong. Meaning is found in the person and work of the Lord Jesus Christ. And that'd be great if we could earn something, but we can't. The system is literally rigged against us. That's why we got to do some trust busting. That's why we got to be a little radical. Let's keep going here. See what he's got to say. And I apologize for ranting and raving, getting upset tonight. I'm not usually going to be like this. I'm not usually like this at all, actually. But it irks me when people like this speak out of ignorance, arrogance, and condescension to my people, the people that I'm literally doing this to represent and to air out frustrations for. And sometimes that requires being harsh. Let's keep going.
Let's talk about the men who built your freedoms. Men who didn't wait for comfort. Men who didn't wait for validation. Men who didn't wait for perfection.
Why do you think what I'm doing right now? What do you think I am doing what I'm doing right now?
Men who earned their place in history. Pay attention to their ages. George Washington commanding the troops at 21. Thomas Jefferson writing the Declaration at 33. James Madison shaping law at 25. Alexander
James Madison was in Harvard by 13, brother.
Hamilton writing political theory at 17 and leading men at 20.
Or I don't know if it was Harvard. I forget where it was. I think it was Harvard. I might be mistaken, though.
Henry Knox dragging cannons across icy mountains at 25. Lafayette crossing oceans at 19 to fight for a country not his own. And John Adams risking everything at 40. Those men didn't sit around and troll people on social media. Those men didn't call people names like boys do in middle school.
Those people also weren't degraded from the time that they were little children and could comprehend things by idiotic people like yourself, older people, who thought they were better than them or superior to them. They didn't experience that. We do. We have. James Madison went to Princeton. Thank you very much. I was incorrect. It was one of the Ivy Leagues. Mixed it up. Okay. And every time we try to do something, like I've mentioned before when I talk, and I'm doing this, trying to revive the idea of the American statesman, like George Washington, like Alexander Hamilton, like our founders. When we do say something, we're told to shut up by both the left and the right. We're called idiots, uneducated. What do you know? So don't lecture me. I know the founders better than you do, and I'm 18 years old. Let's keep going.
Those men were strong.
And you think we're not?
Not because life was easy, but because life was hard. Hard times didn't just test them, hard times transformed them.
I
And
don't
yet,
know what's going on here.
look around today. Men who spend more time scrolling than sweating.
So that's it. That's it, right? Just got to go out there and break a sweat, man. No, actually, our generation is actually more educated, self-educated, like George Washington, like Hamilton. Although Hamilton did go to Columbia, but more like George Washington, who's self-educated. That's more like our generation. And you think that people at the time didn't hurl insults at each other? You clearly haven't read a lick of history if you think people at that time didn't hurl insults at each other. Ridiculous.
Men who know more playlists than principles.
BS. Absolute BS. You know how many... Our generation is the most conservative, the most religious generation in a long, long time. We know principles, and that's why we despise people like you. Who's you've been trotted out here to lecture us, reading off of a script that you probably got from ChatGPT. They tarred and feathered each other. True. People trash talk each other. It happens. Is it good necessarily? No, it's not. But people do it. It happens. Right? We know more principles. We have a greater morality than you do. And that's why we don't respect you.
Men whose biggest struggle is their phone battery.
Let's stop right there. And this is where it's hard for me to not just fire off. Our biggest struggle is our phone battery. He really said that. I wonder if he still stands by it. Sure. Whatever. It's not that we can't own a home. It's not that the economy's in the dump. It's not that we're going to have to pay off the trillions of dollars of debt that the United States is currently swimming in. Yeah, the problem is the fact is our phone battery. That's the real problem. Not that we're not going to be able to own a home. Not that America is trillions of dollars in debt that we're going to have to pay off, which means hiking our taxes, which means a lower quality of life. It's not that our food is worse. It's not that our society is an immoral trash home, or trash heap, rather, not home, sorry. None of that, no. It's not that big businesses and big banks control the American economy and have a monopoly on everything and put us into debt slavery with student loan debts, with car payments, with housing payments, with mortgage payments. It's not that the elites of society hate us and have put us under their boot, which he knows, by the way, he's part of it. Sure, the problem is the phone battery. Not the fact that the economy sucks, that there's no morality, that our society is collapsing every day, that the left wants to kill us all, that for the first time in American history, the children are worse off than their parents. Sure, the problem's the phone battery. Yeah, you keep running with that. No, our biggest problem is that life sucks. But you have all this technology. Again, who cares? Who gives a flying flip I'll take morality over technological advances any day of the week, because then society can actually function. But problem's phone battery, not the fact that the dating scene sucks, because feminism has ruined young women. Therefore, we can't breed. Therefore, we can't reproduce. Breed, reproduce. Keep our society going. Keep our civilization going. That's not the problem. The problem isn't that you and your generation have flooded the country with a bunch of third world foreigners who hate our country, hate our society, want nothing more than to take it over. You flooded this country with foreigners. You've handed this country over to the enemy. And it's not me saying it. It's the people you've let in. The Muslim people. Islam will enter every home. You've let them all in. Sure, that's not the problem. The fact that the problem isn't that the historic demographic, the historic, the descendants of the people who built the nation are being replaced. That's not the problem. No. The problem is your phone battery. 33% of our generation is dead. They were killed in abortions. But the problem is the phone battery. The blood of a billion sons calls out to the Lord God Almighty for judgment. %33%, not 43%. I said 33%. But the problem is the phone battery. The problem is us. You see, I chuck the pen, and then I pick it back up. We love the pen. This is the most tone-deaf and moronic statement that you could make. This is the dumbest bullcrap that I've ever heard. Ignore all the problems that we've created. It's actually your fault. You're just mad because we've woken up to what you guys have been doing. That's why you're angry. And I'm not a groiper. I don't like Nick Fuentes. But you are the most condescending human being on the planet. And if you're not, you better hope that the most condescending one doesn't die. Cool. Let's keep going.
Men demanding praise for existence. Men
None of us are doing that.
expecting comfort, but refusing responsibility.
We're not doing that.
Life has never been easy.
Shut your mouth.
It's not supposed to be.
So we're supposed to slave away for the government our entire lives, work, never retire, never have a family, never be able to afford a home, live in a society overrun by foreigners who hate us, live in an immoral society with no basis at all, a shell of what it used to be. That's what, yeah, we're supposed to take it.
Ease breeds entitlement.
None of us are entitled. Actually, we are. We're entitled to something. America. America is our birthright. America is your birthright. My ancestors have been here since Jamestown. America is my birthright. That's what you're entitled to. And that's why we're ticked off. Because if we're entitled to anything, it's America.
Hardship breeds greatness. And here's the good news. In a generation addicted to
Well, that's, I guess, why you're not great.
comfort, the man who is willing to earn everything will surpass everyone. This is your advantage, your edge, your opportunity.
So our advantage is that our edge is that life sucks. Our advantage is that life flipping sucks. I knocked over the candle. See, he made me accidentally knock over my precious candle. How?
But there's another layer, a darker one. Weak men are enabled. Nick Fuentes benefits from you staying weak, from you staying
Really? Because he encourages.
confused, from you.
Okay. I'm not a fan of Nick Fuentes. I'm not a Fuentes apologist. Okay. But I'm pretty sure his whole shtick is that he's said this multiple times. He wants young men to get into the institutions. So we'll kind of drop, paratroopers behind enemy lines. He wants people to better themselves. He said that. You've never watched. I've watched some of his stuff. Again, not a big fan, but he says some things that are correct. The difference between me and Nick Fuentes is Fuentes gets angry and yells about the problems. I'm coming up with solutions to the problems. I'm angry at the problems. I've been upset in this episode more than I wanted to be, and more than I will be in most of these live streams. Fuentes offers anger. I will offer you solutions and a better society. It's not saying I'll be anything great. I don't think people want to. I honestly don't think I'm going to get many subscribers from this because I got so upset at some of the things this guy was saying. I got fired up. Probably not, not getting any friends here. And I'm not saying that I should be the next big guy. I'm just saying, what's the truth? That I'm offering you solutions to what's going on. Ultimate solution is Christ. But let's keep going.
You staying bitter, from you staying dependent. Because strong men can't be controlled.
What's funny about that is when people ask him for advice on basically anything, he's horrible to them. He's terrible to his fans, by the way. He's terrible to them when they ask for advice on anything. I don't know what, dude. It's crazy, bro.
Strong men don't worship influencers. Strong men don't fall for online cults. Strong men build their own lives instead of obsessing over someone else's. And Nick Fuentes, watch what he does. He only talks about hard times, but he never teaches you how to get stronger. Why? Because if you get strong, you stop following him.
I genuinely don't understand the point that's trying to be made here. I understand, yeah, he just airs his frustrations out and then doesn't give solutions. Yeah, it's true. That's part of why I started this, because I have the same frustrations. But I'm offering actual solutions. Because, at the end of the day, he's a papist, so he's halfway Christian.
Nick Fuentes doesn't want leaders. He wants followers.
That's objectively true, though.
But aimless, scared, but stagnant, loud.
This guy's just reading a ChatGPT, written script at this point, bro. This is, dude. Yeah, Gabe, you're right. Strong men serve Christ and love the Lord with all their heart, soul, mind, and strength. Yeah. He's just reading a ChatGPT script at this point. He's not wrong. He just wants followers. But again, he's going to take the wrong lesson from all of this and just talk down the young men.
but powerless. And then Nick Fuentes feeds you poison. How are you supposed to attract a wife when you're told to literally punch a woman in the face?
I don't know the context of that. I know people kind of just like throw that around. Bro show Knicks fans are young disenfranchised young men who are single, childless, and aimless. Yeah, they are. That's why I'm doing this. Because again, like I've said this multiple times already in the stream. I want to offer solutions rather than just pure anger. Let's see here. Let's go back a little bit. See what you say.
Nick Fuentes feeds you poison. How are you supposed to attract a wife when you're told to literally punch a woman in the face?
People repeat some of the things he said. I don't know the context of that. If he said that seriously, that's bad, obviously. But I don't know. He jokes half the time, and so I don't know when he's joking or when he's not. So, but
How are you supposed to be motivated to date when you're told dating women is gay?
okay, yeah, that's stupid, obviously. But let's try to do this crazy thing called understanding why that's a sentiment. Let's actually try to understand rather than just condescend. Why would someone think that? Why would that be a sentiment? Because the dating scene sucks. Because most of these women are have been indoctrinated into feminism. And the elite systems of society do this on purpose because they know if they indoctrinate them and they shame the young men, they're more likely to bring down the birthing rates. And a smaller population is easier to control. But the reason that so many men don't like the dating scene is because it sucks. It just objectively does. So let's try to understand that sentiment. Understand that most young women our age are very liberal, are crazy blue-haired feminist. I got lucky. I found a good woman, but those women are few and far between. And when you find one, hold on to her and don't let her go.
Wake up. No real man believes this. No real
Again, try to understand the sentiment behind that. Pretty sure he was joking when he said that, but try to understand the sentiment.
man behaves like this. No real man takes life advice from someone intentionally avoiding building a life of his own. And the most twisted part, Nick panics about foreigners outnumbering Americans, panics about preserving the nation, panics about the future of our people while pushing everything.
I love how he's mocking. Most young people are liberal. I would push back on that. The young men would not. Most young men are really not that leftist. And polls don't show that. I hate to, maybe in your older Gen Z world, yes, but not in the younger Gen Z world. I love how he's mocking the concerns. No. I'm pausing here because he's mocking. I know what the point he's going to try to make, but I want to point this out right here. Look at voting records, not poll. I'm looking at voting records. Young men, majority of young men are registered Republicans or independents by this point. They've left the left. I've seen the statistics. Don't argue with me on this point. I know what point he's trying to make, but I just want to point out the fact that he's mocking the concern about the influx of foreigners into our nation. He's mocking that concern. You're panicking. He's not panicking. He's raising genuine concerns. This is a genuine concern. Yeah. Westlake exists for a reason. And you're mocking that because you don't care. At the end of the day, you don't care. All you care about is power. Let's continue the point he was trying to make. I just had to point that out.
That prevents you from starting a family, having children, and building the next generation.
Well, he's right. Nick Fuentes is intentionally making people themselves. But
It's a trap, and it's intentional. It's destroying young men from the inside out because the cycle is repeating. Weakness leads to decline. Decline leads to crisis. Crisis demands strength. Your generation could be the hinge of history.
that's what we're trying to do. Dumb nut.
You can scroll or you can rise.
Bro, that was not tough. That was not tough, bro. Who voted Mamdani into office? Liberal white women. Young liberal white women. That was not tough, bro. Bro thought he was tough when he wrote that. That's not tough.
You can complain or you can build. You can follow or you can lead.
I would love to build, but literally you people have rigged the system against us, so I literally can't. People literally can't. Even on YouTube. What am I trying to do here? I'm trying to build a large platform, a large community, rather, not platform, but community of young men who are disaffected, who feel like they have no purpose in life, young people, period. And I'm giving answers. I'm trying to help them, give them answers. But YouTube, unfortunately, breaks the system. That's why it's so important that you watch, subscribe, share, like, leave a comment. YouTube makes it hard. I may never build what I want to build. That's a possibility. I'm not saying I'm the most intelligent person and it's all rigging. I'm not. In fact, to be frank, half the time I question whether I'm a smart person at all, whether I really have something to say. I question whether people will legitimately watch because there are times in which I get a little fiery, like I have today. But you know that fire doesn't come from a place of bitterness. It comes from a place of concern. Concern about the fact that the people of the older generation are mocking the concerns of the younger and belittling them. But that same fire turns off people, which is why I may never get big. But I'm trying. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. Not for me, but for Christ, for country. Let's keep going.
The world needs men with a backbone, men with commitment, men with faith, men who build families, communities, businesses, and nations. Comfort is fleeting. Hard times always return. And the
They're literally here right now.
moment they do, history will ask, which men will stand? Which men will carry the weight? Which men will answer the call? Comfort will drift you. Responsibility will anchor you. What kind of man will you be? Comforted and complacent, or courageous, committed, and bold? The hour is here. The choice is yours.
Okay. I've had it with the corny. I've had it with the corny millennial talking points. Okay. So we've gone through all that. I've given my commentary on it. The future of the right, future of the Republican Party, the political right in the United States, it's going to move much farther to the right. The young men will push the Overton window farther to the right than anyone is ready for. Because what else did you think was going to happen? And the fact that Gen Z is so right-wing is what scares them, and scares them into doing things like this. Be patronizing. You're not going to get any groypers out of Nick Fuentes' circle by lecturing them. I understand that. That's why I don't do that. You get nothing by lecturing them or Nick Fuentes. You give them real solutions. And real solutions at this point can only be given by someone who understands their anger, understands what's going on, understands the times. That's what I'm trying to do. And I hope you'll join me. I hope you'll like, I hope you'll subscribe, I hope you'll watch everything I do. If you don't, that's fine. We had 121 views tonight, 9 people watching right now. That is the best, this is the best live stream we've had in a long time. Best performing video, period, bar none, in a long time. Fortunately, that's not reflected in subscriber growth. But maybe someday. Again, the goal of this, what we want to do, is to reach 300,000 subscribers in 5 years. Because at that point, we can justify doing this full time. At that point, we'll have a big enough community. And I will give y'all a live stream show daily, hopefully with no buffering. Because that's what I want to do. This is what I love to do. It brings me so much joy to do this. You wouldn't believe. It brings me so much happiness to do this with you all. To see y'all in the chat interact with me. I love it. I hope you can sense that. The problem is passion and love don't always lead to where we want to be. So it makes me very happy that y'all are here. Even after we reposition to politics over theology. So I hope you'll stay. I hope you'll join in the journey. We are at 1,475 subscribers at the moment. And we want to hit 300,000 in 5 years. Fortunately, although we've been doing these videos, although we've been getting new viewers, we're not getting subscribers. And that's got to change. So hopefully we can work on that. Hopefully, if you build it, they will come eventually. So, but this is not for me. This is, I'm doing this for my children, for my grandchildren, for my great-grandchildren, and the 4th and 5th generation. Those will come. Hopefully we'll get there. And hopefully you'll stay with me through that. All right, I'm going to answer just a few questions. I'll save some of these for tomorrow night, when we'll do more of a question and answer show. Was Lincoln right to be a dictator? Answer that he was. Anyway, that's for a different video. Thoughts on state churches? Cringe. Don't do state churches. Freedom of religion in the United States has always meant freedom of denomination. Whenever you establish one denomination as the state church, there's always persecution that goes on of your fellow Christian. Thoughts on far-right Lutheranism? That exists. What? We have far-right Lutheranism? Do we have Lutherans who follow the funny mustache man? What? Thoughts on aristocratic utensil? He's a funny guy. I like some of his content. I used to watch him a lot more than I do now. Should I break up with my boyfriend if I fell in love with a... Okay. Okay. Any Riz advice? Go up to her and say, hi. It's that easy. Worked for me, actually. And then just say, hey, I kind of like you. 70% of the time, she's going to say, okay, let's go on a date. Trust, bro, trust. If you, so not, hey, I kind of like you, but if you go up to her and say, hey, like, I was wanting to go out sometime, you know, if you ask her out, 70% of the time, she's going to say yes. Work for me. Will you attend the Presbyterians for the Kingdom Conference in South Carolina? Yes, I will be there for that and the Theology Matters Conference. Can't wait to see you all. It's going to be great. Gabe, what the heck is this, bro? Okay, we've got a couple questions for Gabe. We're going to answer them quite quick. What is a question? What is a questions? What is a question? It says, dude, what in the philosophy is this? What is a question? It's something you ask to seek knowledge. That's going to be the definition I go with. It's something you ask to seek clarity or knowledge. Anything. Where do questions come from? Humans and human mouths, which speaketh them. Can you do a video taking the political compass quiz thing? I actually will do that tomorrow. Tomorrow night I'll do that. Why? Why are you actually a socialist? I'll cover that on the Isaiah Lafone show on Saturday. By the way, guys, put it in the chat. Would you rather me continuing to pre-record the Isaiah Lafone show or just do the Isaiah Lafone show live on Saturdays? Let me know. I'd love to do it live if we can get the lag to stop. Gabe. But let me know. So you're low-key a communist. Dude, whatever, dude. Oh, man. Will we ever see a bearded Isaiah Lafone? Probably not. You can see a mustached Isaiah Lafone. We've done that before. We'll do that again. That would be low-key a heresy. That's crazy. It would look weird. Okay. Hey, alrighty then. Let's see if we can have... You missed the hat. We'll do the Santa hat tomorrow night when I take the political compass quiz, and we will have a fun time tomorrow night. But let me know. Would you like to see the Isaiah Lafone show just live? If we can get the lag to stop. Might cut down on viewership. I'm worried. That is one thing I'm worried about. I think it might cut down on viewership and the people who are able to see our videos. But let's see. I'll work with Gabe probably tomorrow on stuff. Gabe. Let's see here if we've got some more questions. What's your favorite thing? What's your favorite thing Roosevelt did? Trust busting, baby. Trust busting. We do a little trust busting. It's gone. We do a little trust busting. I need to do a show where I just do the different voices. The Trump voice, the Tucker Carlson voice, the Kamala voice, the Joe Biden voice. Okay, let's see if we've got any more questions here. If you got more questions, put them in the chat right quick. Is Nick Fuentes gay? Let me read that again. Is Nick Fuentes gay? And it is questions like this that make me lose faith in my generation. Okay. No beard. No, no beard. No beard. No beard. Let's see. Establishment clause was not to remove Christianity from the United States. Yeah. The Anglican Church. We didn't want them to be taking over. What is a Lafone? So Lafone actually is a French name, which is funny because I'm German and Scottish, but it's a French name, and it used to be a child's nickname. So the French is L-A, and then it's F-A-U-N-E, and it's Lafone. And Lafone is a young animal. And so it was kind of a derogatory nickname. So that's my nickname. My last name is literally just young animal. A question is a sentence formulated to seek information from someone. Yeah. What? Yeah. That's cool. Live on Saturday would be amazing. Live would be cool. Maybe pre-recorded to keep viewers. Both. Opening skit. Should Isaiah and I do skits on campus? Yes, me and Christian should do skits on campus. My signature line is trust busting. Yes, we're gonna put that. Actually, I have a merch store, and we're going to launch it very soon. And one of the shirts just says that I've actually designed. It says "Break Up BlackRock." It says "Break Up BlackRock." We need a shirt with a picture of me doing the Donald Trump like thing like this, and it's gonna say, "It's called We Do a Little Trust Busting," and that's what it's gonna say. It's gonna be an awesome shirt. But yeah, we'd love to do the live stream. I'm just worried about viewership going down. But we'd love to do live show. Actually, I prefer doing lives with you guys because I'm just kind of off the cuff. But another job for you, Gabe? What job? What job am I giving you? Interview people on campus. Bro, I go to boys' college. Half the people there don't even like me. Okay. Actually, I won't say that. They don't like me. Half of them don't know me because I'm more of a quiet person, like in real life. This brings just everything out of me. But okay. But yeah, I'd love to do a live show. Another. Gabe, no. We just got to figure out this lag. So, guys, once we figure out this lag, like, I'd love to do a live show. Probably do Saturday nights. I can't really do 11 a.m., but let's see how many libs are at Boys College. We'll just go to the Boys Worship Collective. I guarantee I guarantee that the Boys Worship Collective is just like a collective of liberals. One of the dudes was singing the We Are Charlie Kirk song down the hallway the last day of school. I wanted to cringe, dude. It was terrible. I'm just getting my lunch. And I hear this dude coming down the hall. He's, We are Charlie Kirk. Dude. Nuh-uh, bro. Nuh-uh. So, but we'll try to do the live stream shows. We'll probably do it for a little while, see how it goes. You know, people don't like it, then whatever. But if people do like it, we can get some viewerships. If we get viewers up on them, then maybe we'll see. I'll talk to Gabe. Gabe is now my producer, except he doesn't produce anything. Gabe is my advisor. Gabe is my career advisor. Done more work for me than the school career advisors. Am I right, Christian, or am I right? Just saying. Gabe is a great advisor, and one day maybe I'll hire him as my actual producer. I'd love to do that. Gabe is great. You're wonderful, by the way. I'm not just glazing you. You're just a wonderful guy. Okay. I'll pay you really good too. One of these days. Okay. I knew I had another job. Oh my gosh. Yes, you'll get another job one day. But this time I'll pay you when you agree to come on as the Isaiah Lafone producer. Once you agree to come on to produce the Isaiah Lafone show. See, this is why I love these live streams, because I get to actually interact with you guys live. So if we can get the lag fixed, we will do this more often. I love this so much, guys. You guys are. Stop using Gabe as your slave. Look, if I could pay him at this current time for everything he's done for me, I would. I'm not glazing when I say that the person most to thank for where I am right now in my YouTube career is Gabe. So go follow him on X. Go follow Trinity Apologetics. Read his articles. He's great. Because if it wasn't for Gabe, I would literally be nowhere because I can't do technology good. So one day we'll hire him as the producer, and it'll be great. We'll have a one day we'll have a surprise live stream with Gabe. But anyway, all right, that's gonna do it for today's episode of Isaiah Lafone Live. Make sure to show up. Yeah, all my homies love Gabe. All my homies are Gabe stans. All right, y'all. That has it. That ends it. That has it. What am I saying? That'll do it for this episode. I was thinking too far out ahead. That will do it for today's episode of Isaiah Lafone Live. Make sure to show up tomorrow night for a live stream. We will not be live streaming on Friday. And what we'll do, all my homies, Gabe's, yeah. All my homies love Gabe. Anyway, that's all we're gonna say. Yeah. So make sure to show up tomorrow night. We won't be live streaming Friday, and then Saturday. Let's go ahead in the chat. Do we want to try to live stream the show Saturday night at about, normal time, 8:30? Live stream the show and see what happens, and then if we like it, we can keep doing it. But tell me in the chat, do we want to pre-record or live stream? Because I have not recorded the show for Saturday yet. But for that, I will be wearing a suit. So prepare. Let me know in the chat right quick. Yes. Yes to which option? I said pre-record or live stream. You people. Why are we doing hashtag free Gabe? You know what? Okay. All right. We'll live stream it. We'll post clips. Gabe will be my clip master person. You have a brand new job. Upload the streams to Spotify. We could do that. I don't know how to do that. We'll figure it out. But eventually, one of these days, what we want to do is we want to live stream the Isaiah Lafone show on multiple different platforms daily from Monday through Friday. But, all right. We'll do live stream. We're going to do a live stream Saturday night at 8:30. That'll be Isaiah Lafone show. Okay, guys. Thank you all for watching. I will see you all tomorrow night. God bless, and may the peace of Christ go with you. Bye. And Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. And hashtag free Gabe.
I never get what I really want. What is it you want?